There comes a moment on the spiritual journey when the familiar world starts to crumble. The laughter of friends feels distant. The rhythms of daily life lose their meaning. You stand at the edge of something vast, terrifying, and profoundly sacred. This is the sacred invitation, a call not to retreat, but to step into the depths of your being. Solitude wraps itself around you like a cloak, not to isolate you, but to prepare you. Every whisper of silence, every aching pang of loneliness is a reminder that transformation begins in stillness. In these moments, the distractions of the world fade, leaving you face to face with your truth. It's here, in the raw quiet, that the inner transformation begins. Solitude strips away the noise, revealing the essence of who you are beneath the layers of societal expectations, emotional wounds, and forgotten dreams. This isn't a punishment, it's a reckoning. The spiritual isolation you feel is not the absence of connection, but the forging of a deeper one, with yourself, with the universe, with the infinite. And in this silence, a new language emerges, a language of clarity, presence, and purpose. As Thich Nhat Hanh so beautifully said, the most profound truths are found not in words, but in the silence between them. But this silence, this solitude, isn't the end of the journey. It's the beginning. In the stillness of spiritual isolation, emotions long buried rise to the surface, unbidden and raw. At first, it feels overwhelming, a flood of sadness, anger, or fear washing over you. But these emotions aren't here to break you. They're here to be seen, to be felt, and finally, to be released. Like ancient wounds reopening to heal properly, this process is the universe's way of urging you to let go of what no longer serves your inner transformation. Every tear you shed, every ache in your heart, is part of the emotional healing through isolation. The pain isn't a punishment, it's a messenger. It whispers truths about past traumas, unspoken grief, and unacknowledged fears that have been shaping your path in the shadows. As Richard Foster reminds us, solitude doesn't merely free us from distractions, it forces us to confront what's inside. In these moments, solitude becomes both your mirror and your medicine. The silence holds space for you to unravel, to face the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. This is the self-reflection and solitude that leads to profound personal growth. It's in this clearing that transformation begins, a space where pain alchemizes into wisdom and shadows give way to light. Spiritual isolation is not a passive retreat, it's an active transformation. Think of it as a sacred inner laboratory, where your old fears, limiting beliefs, and outdated patterns are broken down and reshaped into wisdom and resilience. In this solitude, the mind quiets, allowing you to hear truths you've ignored and feel emotions you've suppressed. This is the work of spiritual introspection, a deliberate process where your inner chaos begins to take form as clarity. You may notice practical shifts, old habits losing their grip, the urge to reevaluate relationships, or even newfound creativity sparking in unexpected ways. This isn't coincidence. It's the alchemy of isolation in motion, turning emotional lead into spiritual gold. As Thich Nhat Hanh teaches, the miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the earth in peace. Every quiet moment of reflection, every step toward understanding, becomes part of the self-discovery process that strengthens your foundation for spiritual growth. In these moments, solitude isn't just a state of being, it's a forge. And while the transformation may feel invisible to the outside world, within, you are being rebuilt into something extraordinary, someone capable of carrying wisdom born from silence. The moment you step into spiritual isolation, resistance begins to surface, a quiet, persistent voice urging you to turn back, to fill the silence with noise, or to return to the comfort of old habits. This resistance isn't your enemy. It's a reflection of the spiritual growth struggles taking place within. The ego, desperate to preserve its familiar patterns, clings to the past, making solitude feel uncomfortable, even unbearable. But this discomfort is the very doorway to transformation. As Richard J. Foster reminds us, resistance is the first step toward surrender. In those moments when you question the purpose of your solitude, you're actually facing your deepest fears and conditioned beliefs. The struggle is a mirror, showing you where healing is needed, where self-reflection and solitude are working to dismantle illusions and rebuild truth. Resistance isn't a sign of failure. It's proof that growth is happening, pulling you closer to the person you are meant to become. In confronting this resistance, you break free from patterns that no longer serve you, moving towards spiritual clarity and emotional liberation. Each moment of discomfort becomes a teacher, reminding you that the path to transformation is not about avoiding struggle, but about embracing it with courage and intention. In the stillness of spiritual isolation, silence becomes a tool rather than a void, a sacred language that speaks directly to the soul. It strips away distractions, offering a space where clarity emerges and self-discovery processes unfold. The quiet isn't empty. It's alive with subtle insights and revelations that could never reach you amid the noise of the outside world. In silence, the mind slows, the heart opens, and the connection to your inner transformation deepens. This solitude and spirituality create fertile ground for profound awareness. In these moments, you might hear the whisper of your higher self, notice patterns in your thoughts, or feel a stronger connection to universal energy. As Thich Nhat Hanh reminds us, silence is essential. We need silence just as much as we need air, as much as plants need light. Through practices like meditation, mindful breathing, or simply sitting in stillness, silence becomes your greatest teacher, offering you not only clarity, but also a direct path to spiritual growth tools that are uniquely your own. As your spiritual journey alone unfolds, the once familiar connections in your life begin to feel foreign. The social settings you once thrived in, the crowded gatherings, the light-hearted conversations start to lose their spark. You may find yourself questioning the depth of interactions that previously felt fulfilling. It's not that the people around you have changed, it's that your inner transformation has created a lens through which you now see the world differently. The self-discovery process often reveals the superficial layers of relationships, urging you to seek those who resonate with your deeper truth. This isn't about judgment or superiority, it's about resonance. As your spiritual introspection grows, you naturally gravitate towards spaces and individuals that align with your evolving energy. Old friendships may begin to fade, not out of animosity, but because they no longer reflect who you are becoming. You might find solace in smaller, quieter circles, or in spending more time alone, exploring the solitude benefits that come with deep reflection. The shift is not a rejection of your past, but a realignment with your present. The places you once frequented may feel alien, and even your own behaviors can appear out of place in your new reality. Activities that once brought joy might now feel empty, prompting you to redefine what truly matters. This spiritual growth isolation becomes an opportunity to attract connections that mirror your growth. New friendships begin to form, relationships rooted in authenticity and mutual understanding rather than convenience or routine. While this process can feel isolating, it's a vital part of the spiritual path discovery. The shedding of old connections makes space for those who align with your higher vibration. As Richard J. Foster aptly observed, solitude empowers us to walk away from all human pretense and manipulation. The evolution of your relationships is not a loss. It's a refinement, ensuring that those who walk beside you truly support your growth and higher self-connection. In this new chapter, the quality of your relationships far outweighs their quantity, allowing you to thrive in deeper, more meaningful ways. The spiritual isolation you face is not a void, it's a space of infinite possibility. In the stillness, you begin to understand that the unknown is not something to be feared, but embraced. The discomfort of solitude gradually gives way to a profound sense of clarity, as the walls of certainty crumble, leaving you with a deeper connection to the universal energy that guides us all. This is not the end of your journey. It's the threshold of a new beginning, a gateway to the inner transformation that will redefine how you see yourself and the world. Embracing the unknown means surrendering the need for control, trusting that the spiritual growth isolation you've experienced is shaping you in ways you cannot yet see. As Dallas Willard once said, solitude creates that psychic distance which allows us to see things in the light of eternity. The unknown becomes less about what you lack and more about what is waiting to unfold. In these moments, you discover the inner peace journey that comes with letting go of expectations and allowing life to flow as it was meant to. Every question you've asked, every doubt you've wrestled with, and every emotion you've felt during this process has been part of your awakening. You're no longer bound by the need for external validation or the confines of routine. Instead, you've tapped into the self-discovery process that reveals the strength you've carried all along. The quiet becomes a teacher, showing you how to find balance within yourself, how to connect with your higher self, and how to view uncertainty not as a threat, but as an invitation to grow. As you move forward, the unknown transforms into a sacred ally, a companion on your spiritual path discovery. This is where you find peace, not in having all the answers, but in trusting that the journey itself is the answer. The people, places, and opportunities that align with your soul will appear when the time is right. Until then, the silence isn't empty. It's alive with potential. It's here, in this fertile ground of solitude and spirituality, that your future is quietly taking shape. You are not lost. You are becoming.